Hello, everyone. Polytopia John Madden here, and I've got another match for you today. It is Polaris versus Bardur. I'm playing as Bardur. This is a glory match, which means the first to 10,000 points wins. Let's take a watch. So Bardur starts. They move their unit. Polaris starts with their units. Bardur then does a standard Bardur opening. Polaris then upgrades their capital. Bardur moves on to a second city, discovers forestry. Really quick start here. Probably going to pause around turn 4. Bardur upgrades their second city. Polaris upgrades their second city. Bardur then enters the third city, upgrades their capital with the resources, gets organization. Polaris gets climbing, moves up ahead. Bardur discovers a new village, captures their third village, upgrades their third village, and upgraded their second city. Let me now pause here. All right, so this is where the game starts to get interesting. Polaris moves down to here, right? And as well as moves their, I don't know what this unit's called, but it freezes the ground up to here. So they know I'm here. At this point, I don't know they're there. A couple things I want to point out. They went up this way and got climbing with the intention of climbing over these mountains here. And then they are assuming there's going to be some stuff around here. Couple things that's really unfortunate here is they, or maybe not unfortunate, but they also haven't checked out over here, right? So that may have been an option to look over here to see if there are additional villages instead of getting climbing. Climbing at this stage of the game, I get why they did it. But it's usually not the best bet, given that it is something that's not really going to help your economy too much. I think it would have made more sense to upgrade the city with one of these using forestry. Actually, let's see. Do they have forestry? They don't. Just the hunting. So they may need to upgrade to forestry or organization, depending on what's down here. Forestry makes more sense. They would have been able to upgrade both of these instead of going with climbing. So that may have been a mistake on their part. Let's see how the rest of the round goes. So they discover forestry at the end of that turn. Bardur upgrades this village over here, or the city, upgrades this city as well, goes for the population growth, and discovers fishing. Let me just pause real quick. So they discovered forestry last turn. They were able to go over the mountain and enter this village. They have 5 stars right now. They just got this village here, so they're likely going to upgrade, right, this city, and then upgrade this city immediately after, right? And then they'll be able to capture this one as well, bringing their stars per turn, probably to around 10 at turn 7. Let's just keep watching. Like I said, they upgrade that one city, go for the resources. Whoa. Hold on. What just happened there? So they have 5 stars. I thought that was 6 stars. Oh, no, it is 5 stars at the end of that turn, so they're not able to upgrade. That is super unfortunate. They'll be able to upgrade this next turn. All right, well, let's see how it goes. So Bardur discovers mathematics, captures that other city, short turn, right? They discover mining. I don't know why mining. We'll see how it turns out. But at this point, these two units down here have discovered Bardur. Bardur, again, we'll go back to that on the next turn, but there is the bonus of discovering those units, so they should be able to upgrade the rest of their villages. All right, so they capture that one village, upgrade the one up here. I think that may have been a mistake. Let me just go back, pause. So they upgraded this one up here, which this one here, which required 4 stars. And I get that it makes sense to upgrade your smallest village to get that workshop. But what would have made more sense is they could have upgraded this one here using 6 stars and had 1 remainder, gotten to 5 stars, right? And then separately after that, so they're at 6 stars, they'd be able to use 4 to upgrade this one. That would have given them an additional 1 star per turn. Right. It is important to remember the order of upgrading your cities. Right. It goes second, going from a second tier to a third tier. Then you do a first tier to a second tier, then a fourth to a fifth tier, and then from there to whatever. But you should always look to upgrade these ones first because they will actually pay for the upgrade for these ones. Again, let's keep watching here. They go for the workshop. So at this point, Bardur moves forward, discovers the Polaris here, gets the bonus for it. Upgrades this city, goes with population growth, then is able to upgrade it to the super unit. Is able to get resources on this city up in the corner here, and then is able to use that bonus. Let me just pause. That bonus from this city right here, the city here, to buy a lumber hut and get a giant. It is turn 8, and Bardur has 21 stars per turn. Bardur's doing pretty good right now. Let's see the rest of this turn. Then upgrades this city over here. Goes for the population growth, of course. Polaris moves up and discovers the rest of the city, does a bit of an attack. Let me just zoom in. They upgrade this city over here, gets the bonus. Bardur moves up their giants, upgrades their third city right over here, the one that was over here, gets the giant, upgrades this one up here, gets the population growth, upgrades it twice. So it is now end of turn 9, and Bardur has 25 stars per turn. This is a pretty good position to be in, right? And let's just end this turn again. 25 per turn. Polaris destroys that unit. That's fine. Goes for population growth, of course. Upgrades it again and gets the super unit. Let me just pause super quickly because you may have missed that. So this here then froze this giant, so he's going to attack without taking damage. The other thing to note about Polaris is this super unit can move and freeze on the same thing. So if you are located here, it can move down, freeze you. So you need something to have a long range to not get damaged. Given how... Let me switch to what Bardur sees. Bardur actually sees this, right? He's able to see this super unit, and let's see how they play to their advantage here. Go back to auto. Upgrades this city over here. Goes for the border growth for some reason. I would, go with population growth. Bardur discovers climbing and sailing. Polaris discovers archery. Oh, let me just pause and go back a bit. Discovers archery. So with this area frozen over here, they're able to kind of walk into this ice as well as this ice over here to capture this ruins. That makes sense. Using this unit, they're able to freeze the ice. That makes sense. I think the thing that's missing here, however, is I guess they're assuming all of this is water, but that might not be the best assumption. Like I get there's this water over here, but there could be land here. or here, and I think it would have been easy to just double check moving this guy over or something like that to double check that there's no land there, considering they have 4 villages or 4 cities, and their econ is turn 11 and they're at 18, so they didn't even need to know how I'm doing as Bardur in terms of econ. 18 stars per turn at turn 11. It's a bad spot to be in. All right. Again, let's watch this play out. So let me pause. So last turn there was that small unit here that does freezing. Bardur is able to see this unit right here, and therefore is not actually going to be moving these units up, because if they move them up next turn, this comes down here and would freeze them all when they're on this position. Instead, what Bardur is doing is it has created some catapults. Right, and so if this catapult is here, that means this whole area, or even this whole area, is completely safe. If there's a catapult here, that means this whole area is safe. So I think this is probably the smart move, is now to play defensively, because when you're playing against this super unit, Polaris super unit, the only way to win is either kill it in one turn, or very long range, right? So it's important when you see this that you play defensively and then use catapults or archers to hit that very long range. Let's see how this plays out. So Polaris goes for mathematics, discovers fishing. Let me just pause and go back. Again, they're looking up here and they see another village. That's good. But this should have been a big red flag. They have shallow water here, and since there's no land here, that means this has to be land, right? So let me just move down a little bit and explain why that's a problem. That means if this is land, right, that means it's possible that this could be land as well as this here, and potentially the rest of this stuff here. There could be a full land bridge, which means that when they move both units just right, one was here and one was here, and they just moved them down one, it would have been made more sense. You could move this one down, but rather than moving this one, the one that was here, over to here, you would instead move from here over, or from here over to here. You move it down into here to just verify if there's land, right? Because that would have been a safe bet. If they could have, they might be able to have cut me off. We have no idea what land is over here yet, or they have no idea what land is over here. So ideally, you can starve your opponent's economy by cutting off any additional villages. Again, let's see the rest of this play out. So Bardur moves their. Let me just pause that for a second. They move the catapults up, right, and then the giants back, because next turn, if they kept them here, this super unit would have moved up, frozen everything, then these other units would have been able to come in and destroy the giant that was here. So instead, what they're doing is they move the giants back so they're not frozen, which would basically either the opponents, the Polaris units are either need to move up, which would then put them in the range of all of these catapults, and if they were to do that, they're able to destroy a lot of these units while preventing any Polaris from taking over this city. Again, let's watch the rest of it. Bardur captures one up here in the corner, this village, upgrades to workshop, gets that second upgrade for resources. Back to Polaris, they take the baits. And I don't know if they realized as soon as they moved in that it's baits. Clearly they didn't. Let's keep watching here. Right, they upgrade. They grab a catapult. On Bardur's turn, they virtually destroy that super unit. Right, and then this one moves up a bit to protect this catapult here, which would basically allow them to destroy everything in this area next turn. Again, let's keep watching here. This is a explorer, I believe. Let's keep watching. Yep. So at this point, let me just go back a bit. Let's just go back and move to Bardur. At this point, it's very clear that that early game of not even checking to see if this is a land bridge for Polaris, that was a mistake, because these would have been easy wins, right? If you look at Polaris, they're already up here in the corner. It wouldn't have been particularly difficult to have units also come out here. It's the same distance, right? And so Bardur, I think, is able to take advantage of this by moving units onto this one, and potentially even this one, down here a bit, right? And move on to those by given that they know that those villages are there. Again, let's watch the rest of this. It's Polaris' turn. They move their units back. They discover that there is a village. Now, at this point, Polaris does know that Bardur has catapults. So I don't know why they're, they may be assuming these giants should be taken on with the catapults, and I get that. It may have made more sense at this point to go with knights, because knights would have been able to take out those catapults, and then they could have pushed up the way they wanted to. They have 4 catapults. Again, let's see how this continues. So Bardur is able to destroy a lot of these units, moves that knight or that giant back a bit, starts connecting all of their cities through roads. Polaris moves this up. Now, I guess they're trying to prevent their catapults from being destroyed. It's important to remember catapults are more of a defensive role than they are offensive, because you can't move and attack on the same turn. You have to be very sure, given how expensive they are, very sure that if they move them onto here, that this is not in range. And we've already shown that it is in range, because a catapult from somewhere over here did destroy the super unit that was there. Again, let's see how that turns out. But this up here, again, too little too late. The Polaris knows that somewhere over here is a catapult that can hit here, right? And this is actually the same distance as this, because the way Polytopia works, it counts a square, like X number of squares away, and so this counts as 4 squares, but this would also count as 4 squares away. So they may think that it's actually, closer to this area down here. Maybe here's where it is, and so they won't be able to hit. That's why it's important to watch when your opponents are playing, to know where that angle is actually coming from. Let's keep watching. They upgrade, I think, up here. Or, down here they upgrade their city a couple times. Go for the population growth, great, and then get the super unit. Going for the park, I think that was a big mistake. Let me just go back a bit. We're only at 5,000, right? And I've said this in most of my glory videos, that you shouldn't get parks until you're at least 7,500, because anything before that, it's not helping you enough. Right? You're not close enough to the end of the game to start going for parks. They really should have gone with a super unit, especially since down here they are just getting smacked. Let's keep watching. So they go for the park. Back on the Bardur's turn. Let me just pause for a second. They're able to destroy the archer that was here. Because of this catapult, and then they're able to put the giant here. That means that this is probably going to be taken over the next turn, even though there is a couple of catapults here. Right? We have no idea how many catapults, but this one can't reach. These ones could. There could be some number up here, plus this. So there is a chance that this is not captured next turn. But that would also imply that all of Polaris's units have to attack this one giant, which will prevent them from pushing up a whole lot. Again, let's keep watching. So Bardur starts putting units on the water, upgrades this city up here in the corner. Population growth, of course, discovers free spirit. It looks like Bardur is going to go for knights. Polaris upgrades this city up here in the corner, goes for the resources. Oh, no, they are going to go for a full upgrade. So they get this one with resources down here. Upgrade their capital or their second city. Get the super unit, please. Great. So now they have a super unit. Back on Bardur's turn, they're able to start doing damage. Gets chivalry and a knight. Let me just pause this. So this knight is now in play. Of course, Polaris doesn't know about this, and Bardur knows they don't know about this. Bardur captures this village right here. They do have 4, so they could upgrade it, but considering how close it is to Polaris, it may make sense to leave it like that. Next turn is pretty obvious. This knight is going to take out most of the things up here. If this gets really bad, if let's say this one moves down this way and this one maybe moves out, this whole squad, we'll say, can get taken out. And then this one up here, again, we're at 4, so this one may be a better play to upgrade. Let's keep watching. So yeah, this one did get upgraded up here in the corner. That's the end of turn. So Polaris does destroy this giant that was up over here. Goes for the super unit, which is really good. And let me just pause and go back a tad. So now we have 2 super units here and a series of catapults here. The problem is, if we look at what Bardur can see, let me go back here. So Bardur is able to see these 3 as a chain, right? Again, it's important to remember. Now they have no idea that Bardur has a knight. But when you have a bunch of high-value units, right, and Bardur is actually vulnerable to the same thing right here, right? A knight can come down here and then take out that whole unit. So there's a huge vulnerability here, especially when looking at catapults, because they're so expensive and such low defense, right, that one knight can take out a whole chain. Now, when we go back to what's going on here, this is unfortunate. I don't know if they realize this, because they have a long knight chain like this, right, which is 3 catapults and 2 units, and then the additional damage on the super unit, whatever that's going to be, right? So I think this knight chain is coming up this turn. Let's keep watching. Yeah, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he's able to attack the super unit. Able to get the super unit down here again. Start moving the boats up. Upgrades this city as well as this city. Goes for the second upgrade on this city up here. Gets the resources. Gets population growth on this city here. Goes full giant. Gets the super unit. At this point, it's Polaris has more or less checked out. I think they've disconnected, and you can see that Bardur just more or less wins this game. Right? It's pretty clear. Upgrade. It's game over. Let me just zoom out, make this easier to see everything that's happening. Yeah, Bardur pushes up. Captures that second city. At this point, Polaris has very, very little resources left per turn. It's basically game over. 9,000 points to, let me just pause, 5,000. So I'm not even going to show the rest of the round at this point. I think the mistakes early, there was a couple things on Polaris's end. One of those mistakes is that this whole area here was left undiscovered. Right? It's important to remember that you actually travel further when you move diagonally in this game, and those early Polaris units, I think they moved 2 spaces. It would have been easy to cut me off all the way over here, and that would have helped their econ. They also made a couple mistakes with upgrading smaller cities before that 3rd city upgrade, and I think that was a bit of a mistake here as well. The unfortunate thing is, I think Bardur as well also had a pretty good start. That's pretty dense in terms of cities, and then that defensive play with the 3 giants, that mid game, really turned this around. Once again, I'm Polytopia John Madden. If you want your matches commented on or commentated on, put a link in the comments, and I will happily comment on your match. If you like this video, hit subscribe and like. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next video.